when they told the people that fell for the trap, the bait, when they told them, or even if it's you listening, that you're gonna, when you die, you're gonna go to hell, and that's the belief that you have, and if you don't get converted, then that's what's gonna happen to you. But what the problem with that doctrine is, they didn't tell you that we're already in hell. They didn't tell you that this pit that we live in is a living hell. And Satan created his people to rule this planet by the desires of their hearts. And he made this his backyard. He made it a living hell. So if something doesn't change with Satan, then we're all screwed. But if Satan meets his match, if he can meet his match, then this place would be a better world. And so what they were saying was, when you die, you're going to go to hell. And you're going to burn and all that stuff. But when you die, you go back to wherever you came from, regardless of what you did on this earth. Your hell is in your mind, believing that, living your entire life believing something like that, and then believing, well, man, I hope I get saved. Or, wait, no, I just got saved because I asked Jesus to come into my life. Well, yeah, when you make mistakes, you can say that, and then you truly might feel that way at the moment, but then afterwards you go about your fleshly life and continue to sin. And depending on how much damage you do spiritually to yourself, it depends on what kind of hell you live in while you're walking this planet. So that's a damn lie, is what it is. And Satan knows that, because he taught all of the pastors and everybody, it's like the way to go. Yeah, you can have different doctrines, but keep the interpretation around the same thing. If you don't ask Jesus Christ to come in your life, you're going to burn in hell when you die, and that's what you got to deal with. And if you don't tithe a tenth of your money to the bucket that gets passed around, if anybody still goes to literal church, if you don't tithe, yeah, you can't actually have a nice car either. So just in case, if you wanted to have, like, because they're worldly possessions, you don't want to have anything nice. And because Jesus didn't have anything nice, and he was a broke buster, and he was just poor, and he loved life so much, living that way in hell. And it was just such a great place to be, no matter what. The more broke you are, the better off you feel in life. So suffer like Jesus, damn it. And also, we're going to nail you to the cross, literally, also. And even though we know you can't walk on water, we're going to still do that to you. So the water walking, the raising from the dead, raising others from their graves. When's the last time you seen a person come up from under their casket, as they're already buried dead in the ground, come up alive, and all of a sudden flesh just miraculously fixed itself or something, where it covered the face, and then that was the person raising from the dead. So everything has been taught like in the Old Testament way. The taking it literal, believing it, that's it. It's only one way. Don't let the Gnostics come in and tell you things that might make more sense to, but you also have to read between the lines in Arabic language. So when they told you that you're gonna die, I mean, when you die, you're gonna burn in hell. When you actually die, it's a lie. And then when they said that you're gonna die if you don't get converted, because the earth will burn. It says it in the Bible. And your teacher is the one that you believe knows the Bible, because he's shown you many miracle signs and wonders. Maybe you don't even know that the sun is man-made yet. Maybe people still believe that clouds are something that came from the beginning of creation of the God that you thought was God, but not Satan. So maybe everybody's still asleep. And the ones that aren't asleep, well, you know that your hell. See, there's levels of people that know this stuff. There's people that know that, yeah, this is actually hell because we came from heaven. We know. We're the ones that created it. This is a prison outdoors for everybody. You are in hell. And when you die, we know that you just go back to the creator source. And we don't really know exactly what happens, but we know that when you die, that's it. You go to the other realm of wherever you're supposed to go. You won't find that out until you die. So in the meantime, live your life. Stop worrying about going to the pit. Stop worrying about that thing that you got to fill up your hollows, and if you don't, within 3 days you're gonna die. Because I knew there was something that they told you, that certain people with the host body, that if you don't do this certain thing for 3 days, you're gonna die, because it's something when you're able to reproduce inside of your own body because of the mechanical devices that were inserted into with your tree of life going in the opposite direction. There's hollows there, and when you fill them up, I think they burn. I'm not certain, but I did say if I was writing a sci-fi movie, I would make it to where that happens, and then at a certain point, inside of your host body, you actually hatch like bees or something that, comes out of the bottomless pit, or locusts. Yeah, locusts come out of the bottomless pit, and they're actually literal living, like little creatures that came from you because of your spark of life that you rearranged inside of you, and you filled up your hollows. And then you were told that if you don't keep filling up your hollows every in other words, if you fast for 3 days from whatever you were told that you will die from, if you don't do it, do it. Fast for 3 days for it. Because everything's a lie. But that could also be an illusion that the master is just acting like that's what's going on in the master's body, and it's just all an illusion. And what you really did was you just fell for the fear mongering, because some people do know Satan on earth, and they know that beheading is real. It's a real thing. Burnt offering, yep, real thing. So what option do you want to go with? Do you want to go with the serpent race option? You still have the spark, it's just tucked up, hidden with your boys. Or the other option, which is inverted, filling up your hollows. And it's in sex with yourself. And you can do it all day long. All day you dream about sex. Adidas, the original. that could all be an illusion as well. It can be a trap to get you to, if you, because this system, killing Christ, killing Jesus, has nothing to do with a human being at all. In the system that everybody's following, the Hollywood system, I'll call it. The Hollywood system. It includes baseball players, sports stars, basketball, NFL, NBA, everybody and anything. Behind the scenes people, Hollywood actors, rock stars, movie stars, sitcom stars. The whole system, killing Jesus, has nothing to do with a literal human being. And they all know that. It has to do with your tree of life, your spark of life, what you do with it, or if you don't, you're going to do without it. And it's going to hurt. And you're going to wish that you died because of that pain of the sledgehammer and roasting your nuts over open fire. So all these things are real threats, but it's all in your head as well, like the zombies, because the singer, that guy, was in the video while he was looking at himself as a woman, because all he did was just, it's the methodology. You do the methodology and you lose a whole hell of a lot of weight real quick. You do the little enhancements of your nose, structure, lips, plastic surgery, the breast implants, and you go full 9 yards as a woman, and you now become part of Satan's race because you are what he created in the beginning. That's man and woman created by him. Yeah, God created men and women individually also. Everything God did, Satan said, I can do better. So when you die, you're just going to go back to the source. If you were told that this earth is going to burn real soon because it's not. That's a literal interpretation. And those that know that it's a spiritual burning, that because they've already got burnt with the word of God, so they already know. But there's some that actually don't still know, and they believe that the earth is going to burn. So you are going to live in fear thinking that, and you're going to do whatever it is that angel of the bottomless pit tells you to do, because that's the person that knows the Bible inside and out and uses it against everybody as a club, and makes you think things that would make you feel uncomfortable. So you do those things that you normally wouldn't do if you had another interpretation and you believed it. But for those that did it already, just know that this is the hell. If you don't know that we're in a pit hell and there's land above us called heaven, if you don't know that, we are already living in it. So how are you going to go to it when you're already living in it? It's just like getting locked up for not wearing a mask, right? All right, so you go to the police station, they supply masks, and they say, here, take the mask. Like, nah, I'm not putting a mask on. You have to put a mask on it. What are you going to do, lock me up? So it's like that. What are you going to do? Lock me up for not wearing a mask when I'm getting locked up for not wearing a mask? Obviously, you know I'm not going to wear a mask. And then it's the same thing with hell. Oh, I'm going to go to hell? Right. We already live in it. It's the literal land right here. It's hell. But see, don't worry, heaven's coming down to the earth. Because I saw Satan get cast out of heaven. He fell like lightning, like quick, fast. He fell out of heaven because there is no place found in heaven for him anymore. So him and his angels were cast out, and they fell down to the earth. 10:18. There is a 5-month period where men are going to be stung like the scorpions of the earth. But the scorpions of the earth, they had a king over them. And the scorpions and the locusts, the real locusts that are coming up from the pit, just, listen to some Harold Camp and he'll tell you that's the true believers. The real locusts, the ones that work for God. They're the ones coming up from out of this pit here. And because Satan lives here, and so does that woman that on that Satan commercial. They both live in hell. You know how Satan's called Jesus and Jesus called Satan, and they swap sides in certain people's perception. But the reality is, the ones that know, you already know. There's no trickery. The trickery's over. But there's still perception from other people, and then there's people in high places that are holding on to perception of what the perception of other people towards you, because you're still your own worst enemy. You're still fearing something when you just need to be yourself. Whatever position you're in and you work for God, just start thinking directly for yourself, knowing that your first initial thought isn't the injected one from Satan. Your first initial thought is the second one that was conditioned to become the first thought. Just like Jesus of the Old Testament, there's the first coming and then the second coming. Jesus in the New Testament, they're separate people according to the people in playing this thing out, but they're also that's one perception. There's the person that is Jesus from the Old Testament, doing things literally, and then there's the Jesus of the New Testament, a separate person. And then there's the first coming, which is the same Jesus as the second coming. It's just the first half, second half. All these perceptions have to be fulfilled in everybody's minds in order for the Bible to be fulfilled. Because the truth is, Christ comes as a thief in the night. And who really knows when Christ comes at night? And what happens at night? Well, there's dark sentences. There's secret, in like the secret chambers, and all these perceptions that people have about how they feel as though the Bible is being played out, going from the beginning, halfway point, to the ending. 42 months to act? Who was given 42 months to act? Or are you saying it's 42 months coming up to act? Or did they just start? Or do you think that it all happened like that, but it's really coming to an end? Because didn't the Queen sit in her place around May 20th, 2019? There's 2 years coming up. Somebody was given authority to act. Somebody's still acting. Some people are acting like Christ, and other people are acting like Christ. Some are fake, some are real. Summer is almost here. So hell is a mindset. Heaven or hell. Depends. It depends on your life, like what's going on in your life too. More of a heavenly feel. The heavenly feel for me is simply the feeling I had before when I had more time in my life to do things, and I didn't have to spend so much money on bills, and me and my wife had time to just spend time together, enjoy life. that is like a piece of heaven. Now I can only imagine being retired at a younger age and having access to the things enjoyable in life because Satan wants to share now. Because the Spirit of Christ is what delivered joy into Satan's heart. I know, it's like a mission impossible thing. But it is very likely. I know. Serpents don't change. Dragons stay the same. But in the end, it doesn't really matter who is evil. All you got to do is get the right information, and to be able to prove something simple, it changes you like that. That's what changes. Something you've never seen before, something you've never experienced before, and something that you can prove in an instant. Sometimes you got to shut them up for a little bit because maybe there's too much information that you just can't get out. But what'd you say, Jacob?
I don't mean to be pointing fingers at anybody because that wouldn't be nice. I had an issue with the audio. Did a whole video. It was like a whole half an hour. So great. It was filled with such wonderful eye-opening info. And it's gone. So round 2. I'm tired. I'm tired by now.
April 3rd.
See, in life we have all these little obstacles that come our way. Sometimes they're important shows. Maybe this is an important show. I think it is.
And I want to make sure it doesn't affect the production of this video. There we go. Okay.
I didn't even realize until yesterday, even this video I was silenced, but Johnny was not.
So there we go. Okay, so the point is, for years, for almost 20 years, I've been led by the Spirit through the Bible.
Moses does speak about it, yes, but it's not one of the 10 commandments. So Jesus gave you 2. And of course, if you kept the 2, if you love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, you're not going to break any of his word anyway. And
Sorry guys, I realize what's happening. Sometimes when I press this button, this little red light, it doesn't receive the press. That's what's happened a few times. So I'll make sure it doesn't happen. I will get a visual on the light every time now. I'm sorry about that. And so I will make sure that every time I press this button, I look at the light. So anyway,
I don't mean to be pointing fingers at anybody because that wouldn't be nice. Not gonna do that in this video. But I gotta tell you something. I'm gonna point you somewhere. I mean, just somewhere. Welcome to the show. I'm Jacob Israel, all right? We're all buddies. Somewhere. Welcome to the show. I'm Jacob Israel, all right? We're all buddies. We're all pals. Okay.
anyway, like I said, from now on, I will look right at that little red light, because here's what's been happening. Sometimes I'll just press the button because I have to press this button off when I show you a video where you can't hear the sound for the video. So sometimes when I go back, I press the button and I just assume because I pressed it, my audio's on, but from now on, I'll get a visual on it.
Yeah, from now on, just make sure that you click on here. Just make sure that it's not disabled by itself before you go ahead and record. Okay?
We're all pals. Okay. I already taped this show once before today. My voice is a little shot for whatever reason. Had an issue with the audio. Did a whole video. It was like a whole half an hour. So great. It was filled with such wonderful eye-opening info. And it's gone. So
this was the video first that I recorded it April 2nd, and it just didn't upload the entire night. And then I believe when I came back home, then I had to upload it. That's why these two are close. On the 3rd, I did one the night before, and then this was actually the 3rd itself, the second time around, that there was zero sound whatsoever. I mean, maybe it's a random thing that is happening to channels. It's just shutting people up, shutting them down, giving you the heads up algorithm kind of thing. But there's always somebody in charge of that algorithm to make it do things like this.
Go on. So, round 2. I'm going to try to keep this video a little bit shorter because I'm tired. I'm tired by now. See, in life, we have all these little obstacles that come our way. Sometimes they're important shows. Maybe this is an important show. I think it is.
They're not that important.
It's kind of, it's going to be a little bit of a spoiler alert, so you know. Because so, Genesis 1, Elohim said, let us make man in our phantom image. Let it play. Start it, okay? Okay, here we go. Okay, guys, sorry, I'm all about business today. So what's a phantom? Just forgive me if I see you see it, but you really don't. Trying to laser focus, get it done. Here we go. Let's see. We got a lot. Shaggy, I think I showed this to you in the last video where, I think I showed this to you in the last video where the girl gets hit in the head with a branch.
It's hitting the head with a branch.
And then Scooby says, Mary Jane's a man in a mask. He's trying to save Shaggy, his best friend, right here. And best friend, and he's trying to save us. Now listen to what happens in Scooby-Doo. Scooby knows that Mary Jane's really just a man in a mask. And Elohim said, let us make man in our image. In the image of Elohim created he him. Okay, this was done in, you might want to go watch this whole thing, May 20th, 2019. It looks like it's 4 hours. I did a 4-hour video.
Massacre of the Innocents is the incident in the nativity narrative of the Gospel of Matthew, in which Herod the Great, king of Judea, orders the execution of all male children 2 years old and under in the vicinity of Bethlehem. The Catholic Church regards them as the first Christian martyrs. And their feast, Holy Innocents' Day, or the Feast of the Holy Innocents. The 72 returned with joy and said, Lord, even a demon submit to us in your name. So he told them, I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven. Behold, I have given you authority to tread on snakes and scorpions and over all the power of the enemy. Nothing will harm you. Nevertheless, do not rejoice that the spirits submit to you, but rejoice rather that your names have been written in heaven. At that time, Jesus rejoiced in the Holy Spirit, declared, I praise you, Father, Lord of heaven and earth, because you have hidden these things from the wise and learned and revealed them to little children. Yes, Father, for this was well-pleasing in your sight. All things have been entrusted to me by my Father. No one knows who the Son is except the Father, and no one knows who the Father is except the Son, and those to whom the Son chooses to reveal him. Whoever the Son chooses to reveal him to, they now know the Father. Then Jesus turned to the disciples and said privately, Blessed are the eyes that see what you see. For I tell you that many prophets and kings desired to see what you see, but did not see it, and to hear what you hear, but did not hear it.
So, let's do it. Y'all ready? Okay, let's get ahead of the scene. Let's get going. Okay.
Here, the giant hornet queen has taken her throne.
This was the video on May 20th, 2019.
Might want to go watch this whole thing. May 20th, 2019. It looks like it's 4 hours. I did a 4-hour video. Rise up, and his semen will move like rivers. I will go up, I will ascend up out of the pit, and cover the earth.
Go up.
To plump, to fill up hollows for clothing or secrecy of the earth. I will destroy properly, to wander away, to lose oneself, the city.
That's how, because it's divided, that's how they lose. You just step off. But filling up your hollows, I think that's the thing that people are told, that there's something that if you don't do in 3 days, you surely shall die.
An external stomach, the grubs digest the protein and generate a tiny droplet of fluid. It's Vespa amino acid mixture, an energy-rich cocktail, which is the main source of nutrition for the adults. Without this contact, the workers would die.
Is that what you were
The
told?
grubs use this food exchange to control the adults' behavior and manage the entire social colony. Their tiny, scraping mandibles will one day behead their enemies. But for now, they're a relentless call to action. This grub needs food. They are the engine that runs the hive and fuels the insatiable need for protein. The eldest grubs are preparing for their final metamorphosis.
So this goes on inside of a host body.
They produce a fine silk thread from a salivary gland, no larger than a pinprick. Their mouth parts weave the sticky thread into a silken cap, encasing them into a protective cocoon.